So my mother and father were together for a few years. I was born 6 months later, and they ended up getting a divorce. I didn't see a whole lot of my dad after that. There's a tendency with single mothers to do what's called emotional incest, and that's where they really look at the son as the head of household, the male, the companion instead of a son, instead of somebody that they're supposed to guide and lead. So there was a lot of inappropriate talks and a lot of inappropriate things that happened with that relationship. And that just kind of led to isolation and me finding pornography. And I was 10, 11 years old, pretty common story, honestly. 20 years beyond that, it just escalates to a point where it's so out of control. I didn't look at it as an addiction, really. It was just something that I did, and it's a great feeling for a couple of minutes, and then it's on to the shame, and it's on to all the other feelings that come with that, and then it's, well, I'm feeling terrible now again, so I just go back to it and keep going on and on and on. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I prayed, no matter how hard I read the Bible, it didn't matter. I thought it helped with stress, but I think it caused more stress than it really helped. It just escalated and escalated to the point where I just said something. I confessed it in an area that cleaned the room. You know, because if you say something like that in a group of believers, it usually just, everybody's gone. You could say, oh, I eat too much. Oh, well, stop it. Pray more about it. I'll help you with it. Those kind of things happen. And I don't read the Bible enough. Well, I'll help you with that too. Well, I'm addicted to porn. Room's gone. Because it's got this stigma about it. It's got this thing that's shameful. And it just puts a cloud over everything. It puts a cloud over your marriage. It puts a cloud over the way you raise your kids. Only by the grace of God did something come into my life that really changed direction for me in that aspect. I had a friend that said, hey, I'm going to No Regrets. Do you want to go? And I'm like, I'll go because you bought a ticket. I guess I feel obligated now. So I showed up at No Regrets. It was so different than what I expected. It was so life-changing. There was a gentleman there he was bold and he was honest. We were telling our stories and he's like, I have this struggle. I got divorced because of it. This is an addiction. It's ruining everything that I've ever held dear. From that point on, I just felt this urge and nudge and push and shove to just get to know this gentleman more, to get to understand how he broke free of what he was dealing with. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't even know his name. And I'm like, I got to follow you around. And he kind of looked at me like I was a weirdo and said, okay. And I followed him around, and it was the Holy Spirit pushing me and nudging me towards him. And I've never had a better friend, ever. He introduced me to a group called the Conquerors series. Hearing that other guys are struggling the same exact way that I was, the stories are so similar, it's eerie. About a year after that, Tom and I said that we needed to do a Conqueror group here. And we got one started, and it's on Thursday nights, and I'm leading it, and it's fantastic to see the guys come in and to see the guys get relief and healing, and their marriages get strengthened, their relationships around them get strengthened. It's such a great thing to see. If I was at No Regrets 3.5 years ago, I would go up to myself and I'd be like, hey, it's okay. You are loved. You do matter. And you're worthy. You're worthy of everything. And there's a God who loves you, and he really cares for you. And there's people that care for you, and you don't need to feel the pain anymore. You don't need to act out. You don't need to continue down this cycle of destruction. I think that's what I would say.